Now at 9, the Pittsburgh Public Library hosts a Black History presentation in honor of Black History Month. Plus, MoCan invites drag racing enthusiasts for a special edition of Sunday Fun Drags. And
international mediators urging a ceasefire in Gaza as the Israeli military closes in on the last major Hamas stronghold. I'm Trey Inks from Tel Aviv. I've got the details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe. A man is rushed to the hospital after a shed fire in Joplin. It happened around 3:15 this afternoon at the 3100 block of East 12th Street. Authorities say they quickly put out a small grass fire as well as the shed. However, a man was inside the shed at the time and was injured. The man is said to be in critical condition. The Joplin Fire Marshal is investigating the cause of the fire. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us for the first look at weather.
So today, temperatures were in the mid-70s. Nearing a record set back in 1981, and that's going to continue. Tomorrow we might match the record, and by Tuesday it is looking like we will beat the record. I'm looking forward to those temperatures. Now we are tracking a system moving in on Tuesday that's coming from the northwest. Now we also may see some showers Monday evening from this system right here making its way in, although it won't be heavy showers, just maybe a few scattered showers throughout the evening. Our low tonight's 46. We have some clouds moving in later in the morning, and we also see this strong storm possibility at low risk for Tuesday. And I'll bring you more details in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, Black History Month celebrations continue today at the Pittsburgh Public Library. KOAM Samantha Walker has more on how local performers honored a movement through music and poetry.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom.
Xavier Moore wants to honor the past, and for him, the best way to do it is through music.
I grew up listening to this music, and to be in a position to where I can share it with other people is very humbling.
Moore joined a handful of other singers who chose to perform at the Pittsburgh Public Library in the event Let Freedom Sing, Music of the Movement. It features popular music from the civil rights movement.
To pay respect to the movement itself and Black History Month, and then the music was an integral part to the movement and things that were going on, and the unity behind the movement too really flourished because of the music.
And in this very room, there's quite enough joy.
For Moore, the performance is a way to celebrate Black history and acknowledge how music and poetry unites people.
And it's really just to bring awareness to, the fact that this music brought people together and why it brought them together and what it meant for them to have these particular things.
We shall overcome someday.
And a sense of community helps tie the event and people together.
It's so cool. It's just really cool to see that people in the community want to share in these experiences.
In Pittsburgh, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
More than half a dozen people performed at the event from 2 to 3 today. Aside from music, the audience also heard live poetry readings and saw various photographs from the civil rights movement. Area racers hit the track again today at MoCan Dragway as part of its Sunday Fun Drags. Attendees were able to participate in some fun runs and test and tune their cars. Officials say the event gave the community the opportunity to enjoy the weather and shake off those winter blues.
I am, believe it or not, I've drag raced for the last 55 years. This is my retirement car here. I've drove dragsters out here and all over the United States. It's just great to be an American and get to enjoy this sport.
Races began today at 1 p.m. and wrapped up at 5. Some four-staters today enjoyed the warm weather with a paintball tournament. The Paintball Ridge event included multiple game modes and mini games with participants playing on either Team Cowboy or Team Alien. Prizes were given to the best event related costume.
It's really more about the fun, the family, the friendship, because there's a bunch of random people out here have no idea who each other are. They're talking to each other, making friends, coming out here, trying to schedule more stuff so they can, get active and have a lot of fun with their friends and make new acquaintances.
Each player received 2 bags of paint and lunch. Couples around the 4 states today celebrated Valentine's Day with a bowling tournament at Grace Lanes in Carthage. Those in attendance were able to trade in Cupid's bow for Cupid's bowling ball as they competed in high games, high series, and a couples quiz for cash prizes. Later, experts are warning that a common sleep disorder can lead to cardiovascular disease. Local first responders deal with a lot of factors that affect their mental health, and the Springfield Police Department is going to the dogs to try to lighten the stress and depression that comes with the job. Joe Hickman explains.
You have to understand, for us in law enforcement, this is not a job for us, this is our calling.
But it's a calling with no guarantees you'll come home that night.
Shots fired. Sit down, officer down.
Like earlier this week when a domestic call in a Minneapolis suburb resulted in a man with 7 children at home gunning down 2 police officers and a firefighter paramedic. And like last week at the Chiefs Victory Parade, when more than 800 law enforcement officers saw their day change in an instant, with a shooting in the midst of 1 million celebrating fans. So it should come as no surprise that an estimated 30% of first responders develop behavioral health conditions like depression or PSD. And according to the FBI, 32 law enforcement officers died by suicide last year. And while the average person experiences 4 to 6 traumatic events in his or her lifetime, a police officer will experience about 20 a year and 400 to 600 in their career. So the Springfield Police Department is trying to improve its employees' mental health in the cutest way possible with an 8-week-old chocolate lab, Comfort K9, that will roam the city's 2 major police stations, spreading puppy love.
There's plenty of studies that show that interacting with animals lowers stress, increases happiness and well-being. We're not robots out in the field. We are people. We have feelings and emotions. But at the same time, we have to make sure we're taking care of ourselves. And if that means if you can spend 5 minutes with the comfort dog on a bad day, then that's a win for us.
I can always see the excitement and the stress kind of melt away for a minute anyway for them. So the civilian positions are also very stressful, so I think this will help as well.
Do you think a cat would have the same effect?
I've had cats and no. I'm a cat person too, but no, this puppy is the one.
The $1,500 for the dog and supplies came from a $35,000 grant from the Gary Sinise Foundation, the organization founded by the Oscar-nominated actor that funded a home for retired Springfield police officer Mark Preby, who was paralyzed when intentionally hit by an SUV driver in front of the downtown police headquarters in June of 2020. In honor of Sinise's movie and TV roles, including Forrest Gump and CSI New York, the PD made 4 choices as possible names for the pup, and you can go online between now and Thursday midnight to cast your vote.
I like Mac out of the 4, but I think right now Lieutenant Dan is winning.
Reese says the department is looking at other mental health approaches to spend the rest of the grant money on, such as Struggle Well, a new and innovative program focused on post-traumatic growth that's worked well with first responders in 14 states. And currently,
we have a peer support group now that if a big event happens, we'll come in and do debriefings with officers that are trained to guide us through the emotional process of that. And this is just going to be another tool for officers and their mental health. I mean, who doesn't love puppies, right?
If you have sleep apnea, health experts advise you to watch for another developing problem, cardiovascular disease. A professor at Imperial College London says cardiovascular disease is often overlooked in patients suffering from sleep apnea. According to Professor Esther Rodriguez-Villages, blood oxygen drops caused by sleep apnea can strain the cardiovascular system and cause increased blood pressure. These drops in oxygen can also reduce life expectancy. Continuous positive airway pressure devices known as CPAP machines can help sleep apnea, as well as devices holding the tongue and jaw in correct position. Lindsay is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, scientists are unveiling a 240 million-year-old fossil.
Well, today was a gorgeous day. We almost hit a record with our high being 74 degrees, but the record high just a degree warmer, 75 degrees, set back in 1981. Taking a look outside at our downtown Joplin Cornell complex camera, you can see it's a clear night. It's been gorgeous this weekend. We've seen warm temperatures, sunny skies. It's going to continue a little bit into the morning, although clouds do increase, and we see some possible showers rolling in Tuesday night from this system down in the south, making its way through our area, giving us some scattered showers, mostly in our northern counties, and they will be very brief and light. The system that we are focused on moves in Tuesday in the northwest, making its way into our area a little bit later Tuesday evening. Now, through planning your day tomorrow, temperatures start off around 49 degrees, 7 a.m. It will be sunny, but those clouds increase as we move to the afternoon hours, pretty much becoming overcast by late afternoon. But the temperatures are getting still warmer as we continue through the day, with our high being 78, possibly matching a record. We're looking forward to that. Winds do increase Monday evening, gusting upwards of 40 to 45 miles per hour in some areas. It's going to continue through the day on Tuesday, picking up a little bit more as we get closer to that cold front making its way through. This is the front we see. You can tell by these winds gusting from the south, and then off in our northern counties, the winds start to shift, gusting from the north. After this passes, winds are still pretty fast, but they'll die down quickly as that system makes its way out of our area, moving into Wednesday evening. It's not a long-lived system, but we'll see these showers, okay, pull up on, let's see, a little bit after midnight on Tuesday. Just some in our northern counties, not going to stick around for long. This is a system that we've been tracking for the last several days. Tuesday, at 5:30 p.m. we see some showers start to form along this front. Now, it's looking to develop right after it passes our area. However, in some of our southeastern counties, we could see thunderstorms develop. Now, as this passes, temperatures drop pretty drastically, starting off as our high on Tuesday about 82 degrees, and then quickly dropping in the overnight hours. By 10 p.m. we see temperatures in the upper 40s and a little bit of a snow rain mix behind that front. Now, after it passes, like I said, it's pretty short-lived, but we do see temperatures drop down to the 20s. So it's going to be pretty cold after the system passes our area. Now, we are seeing a low risk for Tuesday night as those thunderstorms possibly develop in some of our southeastern counties. And continuing on, we'll see temperatures warm back up pretty quickly as we move into the weekend, and another chance of showers and thunderstorms end of next weekend into the next week.
All right, sounds great. Thanks, Lindsay. Well, more employers across the country are offering child care benefits to employees with kids. A survey last year by Human Resources Consulting for Mercer found that 54% of employers with at least 500 employees do not offer any child care benefits. However, Upwards and Bright Horizons, a leading provider of early education and child care centers, are hearing from a growing number of employers seeking to offer child care benefits for the first time, or expand the ones they have in place. Coming up, closing in on a nomination.
Former President Donald Trump is closing in on the GOP nomination after a win here in South Carolina. I'm Connor Hansen in Charleston with more about what's next for Nikki Haley's campaign coming up.
As American homeowners continue to rely on the video security systems to keep their families safe, a recent glitch by one smart camera maker that allowed people to see footage from other homes is raising security and privacy concerns. Michael Yoshida has the story.
Home security experts say these privacy and security glitches are very rare. Still, they are also part of the price we pay for having that convenience of remote access to our security systems. Smart camera maker Wyze is blaming a technical glitch for a security issue that allowed about 13,000 customers to see images and video from inside other people's homes last week.
I work in this space, so I'm not all that surprised.
Wyze says customers saw thumbnails from other users' homes in the company's app. 1,500 of them tapped to enlarge the thumbnails, allowing some customers to watch footage from other people's cameras. Rob Gabriel, a home security expert for safehome.org, says while it may be convenient to access wireless security cameras remotely through our devices, that ease and comfort comes with a cost.
Our privacy risk is almost like a tax that we pay for the convenience of being connected to the internet and, the Internet of Things.
Gabriel says companies have the responsibility to make sure they keep improving their security protocols. There are also simple steps you can take to minimize your risk. First, check the company's track record. Second, only put cameras in living rooms, hallways, and near doors, not in bathrooms or bedrooms. That way, if someone accessed your home security camera, they won't capture your most intimate moments. Gabriel also recommends cameras with privacy shutters.
It's an actual physical shutter that you can hear click on and off so that the camera is not viewing you when you don't want it to be.
Wyze says more than 99.75% of all accounts were unaffected by the security issue. And the company says it has added a new layer of verification before users can see thumbnails and videos to prevent this from happening again. And Wyze did contact all of their users, not just those who were impacted by this security glitch. They walked everyone through what happened, also talked about the steps they've taken to improve their security team over the last few years. Still, the company acknowledging that they must be better and will be better in the future. In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida.
According to a new report, high cost of living brought about a rise in home foreclosures. Adam, a real estate data provider, says lenders repossessed more than 3,900 properties in January. It's a 13% rise from December of last year. Adam also says there were more than 37,000 foreclosure filings in January, which is up 10% from December. States with foreclosures between 34 and 47% were Minnesota, California, Pennsylvania, and Missouri. A car previously leased by the president sells for a significant price. Details up next. A custom-made high-performance Cadillac once leased by President Biden goes to the highest bidder. The twin turbocharged ATS-V was auctioned off for $77,746 this week. Mr. Biden leased the car after leaving office as vice president in 2017. The car is finished in black raven with Kona brown interior, a request made by the former VP. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. A partial government shutdown looms as congressional negotiators struggle to reach an agreement on a government funding bill. Donald Trump is closing in on his third straight GOP nomination after defeating Nikki Haley in yesterday's South Carolina primary. The former governor, however, is vowing to stay in the race. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has more.
It's looking like we'll see another Trump-Biden rematch in November as voters here in South Carolina deliver another setback to Nikki Haley in her home state.
It was an early night for Donald Trump in South Carolina, the former president winning Saturday's primary by double digits, moving him closer to another GOP nomination.
You can celebrate for about 15 minutes and we have to get back to work.
Nikki Haley taking just about 40% of the vote on her home turf. Despite the stinging defeat, the former South Carolina governor says she's not going anywhere.
I'm not giving up this fight when a majority of Americans disapprove of both Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
Haley is vowing to stay in the race at least through Super Tuesday on March 5th, when voters in more than a dozen states will cast their vote.
They have the right to a real choice. Not a Soviet-style election with only one candidate.
But Trump's team is already preparing for the general election, and so is President Biden, writing in a statement Saturday, quote, "Despite the threat that Trump poses, I will say again to the American people, I've never felt more optimistic about what we can do if we come together."
We're going to be up here on November 5th, and we're going to say, Joe, you're fired.
History is not on Nikki Haley's side. Since 1980, all but one Republican winner of the South Carolina primary has gone on to win the GOP nomination. In Charleston, South Carolina, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Georgia's Republican governor wants answers from President Biden related to the death of an Augusta University student. Laken Riley, a junior at Augusta University Nursing College, was found dead near a lake at the University of Georgia campus Thursday after jogging in the area. The suspect, 26-year-old Jose Antonio Ibarra, was taken into custody Friday. Authorities say Ibarra is not a U.S. citizen or student at UGA. On social media, Governor Brian Kemp said that he has written a letter to the president asking about Ibarra's immigration status. In the same post, Kemp also criticized Mr. Biden's border policies, saying they have, quote, turned every state into a border state. No response from the White House regarding Kemp's letter. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says a partial government shutdown could happen at the end of the week. Schumer said on Sunday congressional negotiations have not yet reached a deal on a government funding bill. He blamed chaos within the House Republican conference for the delay. He also urged House Republicans to immediately pass an aid package for Ukraine. Schumer said without U.S. aid, Russia will win the war, which is now entering its third year. Envoys working to negotiate a break in the fighting between Israel and Hamas optimistic after a Friday meeting in Paris. The two sides are still far apart on key issues as the Israeli military closes in on Hamas's last major stronghold in Gaza. Fox News correspondent Trey Giggs has the latest.
Efforts toward a ceasefire in Gaza reportedly gaining momentum. A Friday meeting between U.S., Qatari, and Egyptian mediators laid out a more detailed groundwork for a release of Israeli hostages in exchange for a pause in the fighting. This as the Israeli military has shifted its focus to Rafah, a city in the southern part of the Gaza Strip near the border with Egypt, where an estimated 1.5 million Palestinians have sought refuge. Netanyahu says even if a ceasefire agreement is reached, the IDF intends to continue with its plans for a ground operation in the south.
We've already destroyed 18 out of the 24 Hamas terrorist battalions, and 4 of them are concentrated in Rafah. We can't leave the last Hamas stronghold without taking care of it. Obviously, we have to do it.
Meanwhile, the situation there is growing increasingly desperate. People have turned to eating weeds to avoid starvation, with humanitarian aid largely stalled. Babies in the NICU unit forced to share incubators, sometimes 3 to 4 infants at a time, increasing the spread of disease. The U.S. is urging Israel to show restraint.
We do not believe that an operation, a major military operation, should proceed in Rafah unless there is a clear and executable plan to protect those civilians, to get them to safety, and to feed, clothe, and house them. And we have not seen a plan like that.
Netanyahu releasing a proposal Friday for the Israeli military to occupy Gaza indefinitely, even after the war is over. That plan roundly rejected by the Palestinians and other Arab nations. That plan is also at odds with the American desire for a two-state solution and Palestinian control of Gaza. In Tel Aviv, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
Later, some high school students are getting the chance to train like a Navy SEAL thanks to virtual reality.
Well, today we nearly hit a record high at 74 degrees. Now, tomorrow and Tuesday, we still have the potential to beat the records that we've set, and I'm looking forward to those warmer temperatures. Tonight, we have clear skies out in our downtown Joplin Cornell Complex camera. It's looking to be a gorgeous night. Winds do pick up tomorrow, and clouds increase as we move into the morning hours. Now, we have some chance of rain moving in from this system down here in the southwest. That's coming in tomorrow at a little bit later Monday evening, possibly after midnight. Just some light scattered showers moving in some of our northern counties. Now, the system that we're most focused on is going to be in our northwestern U.S. over here, making its way into our area Tuesday. So we're going to keep a track on that. Tomorrow, we start off about 49 degrees at 7 a.m., increasing to about 78 degrees. Like I said, we could match a record tomorrow for that high. Clouds do increase, and we're going to end up with pretty much overcast conditions as we move into Monday night, along with some pretty fast wind gusts. Starting off, gusting 35 to 40 miles per hour. Those are going to increase as we move into Tuesday afternoon, gusting upwards of 45 miles per hour just before this cold front makes its way through. Now, this is the cold front, and we can see the winds starting off from the south, but as that cold front passes, winds shift out of the north, and then this system is pretty short-lived. Winds die down by Wednesday afternoon, and the rain moves out of here pretty early Wednesday morning. We're going to track and see what time that can come in. So this is the little rain shower chance that we'll have moving in after midnight tomorrow, and that is pretty short-lived. Then this is the system we're tracking Tuesday. So it starts to make its way in Tuesday evening around 5:30, 6 p.m. This is right on that cold front. We'll see it starts to develop thunderstorms right after it gets out of our area, but we do see some thunderstorm chances in some of our southern counties over here. And then as that passes, sharp temperature drop. Here's that cold front right here. Temperatures started off in the 80s, and they'll drop pretty quickly. Right behind this cold front, we see a chance of snow mix as well. Now, like I said, pretty short-lived. Most of it's out of our area by 4 a.m., but these temperature drops back down to the 20s. So we started off in the 80s, we're going down to the 20s. Now it's going to warm up pretty quickly, but we do see some low-risk possibilities of thunderstorms in some of those southeastern counties that we'll keep a track on and keep everybody updated. Now, it warms up pretty quickly, like I said, drop in temperatures on Wednesday, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday warming back up, possibly getting back up into the mid-70s next weekend. But we do see another chance of rain showers Sunday and thunderstorms on Monday that we'll be tracking right after our Tuesday system.
But it was certainly a gorgeous day today.
It was a gorgeous weekend. I loved it.
Gorgeous weekend. All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, for the first time ever, scientists are unveiling a 240 million year old dragon in its entirety. The National Museum Scotland announced on Friday. The 5-meter-long reptile from the Triassic period was first identified in China in 2003. But newly discovered fossils allowed the international team of researchers to depict the entire creature. Scientists say it's very reminiscent of a Chinese dragon. The extremely long neck likely helped it to catch fish, though researchers are still unsure of its precise function. Coming up in sports, the Missouri Southern and Pitt State baseball teams are wrapping up for the first weekend of conference play. Plus, the Crowder Rough Riders were in action this weekend. Brock Balderidge has the highlights from the game and more up next.
Well, we're still in the early stages of the college baseball season in the 4 states. The Crowder Rough Riders return home for a 4-game series facing Colby Community College for a doubleheader. Crowder versus Colby. Start this game off with game 1 of the doubleheader. Rough Riders won the first 2 games of the series, so in the first inning, there's no score. Future Arkansas Razorback Colton Reynolds hits a fly ball deep to right field, and that baseball is going to find the wall out there. Run comes in to score. It's an RBI double, and Crowder leads the game early on 1-0. On the pitching side, how about this guy, Jackson Murray, who was mowing down hitters all afternoon. The lefty goes 6 innings, only giving up 2 hits and 11 strikeouts on the day. So we head to the bottom of the second inning now. Crowder leads it 3-0. Quentin Borders belts this ball deep to left field, and the left fielder is out of room, and it's out of here. It's a 2-run homer. Crowder goes on to dominate in game 1. Rough Riders win it 10-0. So in game 2 of the doubleheader, Crowder continues to stay hot. The Rough Riders sweep past Colby. Crowder wins game 2, 13-3. Crowder back at it at home next weekend. Well, the Missouri Southern Lions baseball team continues to stay hot. The Lions open up conference play in Hays, Kansas by winning the first 2 games of the series, and now the Lions look to go for the sweep on Sunday. Well, Southern was dominant all weekend, but on Sunday, not quite the case. The Lions lose to Fort Hays State 5-3. However, Ethan Clark goes 1 for 5 with a double and a pair of RBIs. Southern back at home Friday against Newman. Pitt State also on the road this weekend. The Gorillas wrap things up in Washburn. In Topeka, Pitt State loses the final game of the series in extra innings. Washburn scored 9 unanswered runs in the final 3 innings of the game. 10-9 the final score there. Staying in Topeka, the Pitt State softball team wraps up their final 2 games at the Washburn Invitational. The Gorillas are off to a red-hot start. Pitt State wins the first game 8-0. Then they win the second one 3-0. Pitt State home opener scheduled for this Wednesday against Delta State. Well, in the blink of an eye, we are already up and running with MLB spring training, and we are well underway as the Kansas City Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals continue their journey towards opening day. We head out to West Palm Beach as the Cardinals visit the Houston Astros. First inning, Hunter Brown on the hill for Houston. Check swing there, strike 3. Gets another hitter there, swing and a miss. Brown goes 2 scoreless innings with 2 strikeouts. To the third inning now, no score. Alec Burleson hits one the other way. 1 run comes in to score. Burleson goes 1 for 3 with an RBI, and St. Louis wins the game 3-0. Out to Tempe, Arizona now as Cole Reagans is on the mound for the Kansas City Royals facing the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. First inning, Reagans gets Aaron Hicks on a swing and a miss there. 3 batters later, Anthony Rendon up at the plate and can't put the bat to the ball there. Reagans goes 2 shutout innings with 5 strikeouts. So fast forward to the bottom of the 9th inning now. Royals lead 1-0. Jorge Ruiz hits a fly ball deep to left field, and Javier Vaz makes a sensational catch for the final out of the ball game. Check out the replay here. Royals win the game 1-0, and that kid in the Angels hat looks pretty impressed to me. Well, some news in the football world. You might remember former Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, who is on the move again. UCLA is hiring Bieniemy on a 2-year deal to become the school's next associate head coach and offensive coordinator. Bieniemy spent 4 seasons with the Chiefs as an offensive coordinator, and Bieniemy is coming off a year where he's only spent 1 year with the Washington Commanders. Well, that's your look for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Some high school students in Arizona are getting the chance to see what it's like to be in the Navy, including what it's like to be a Navy SEAL. And it's all thanks to Navy officials bringing virtual reality to their campus. Fox's Desiree Fluellen has more.
It does bring a sense of leadership, discipline, respect for everyone.
Yazelia Medina is a senior here at Tolleson Union High School, speaking on the values of the ROTC program.
I do intend going to the Navy, and my last thing is to just enlist into the Navy, but I'm really hoping for that officer position.
Her future with the Navy is clear, but for other students exploring a military career, this Navy SEAL virtual reality event provides a lot of insight.
We walked in, we got our dog tags.
Then they start here in this room.
We just got a briefing of what we were going to be doing.
And you can see now these students are getting their gear on, they're getting strapped in, and they have 2 missions to complete, one nighttime, one daytime, and the goal is to rescue Navy SEALs.
We were driving the boat around, and then when we were done with that, we came over here.
This final room is where students are debriefed.
They were showing what we did, they were showing future jobs in the Navy as well, if we were interested and stuff like that for the debrief.
Both Oscar and Liliana are looking forward to careers in the military. Experiences like this allows them to learn more.
I do a lot of small boat operations from personnel transferring, search and rescue missions, search and seizure missions, all kinds of stuff.
Students also got to meet and speak with Navy boatswain's mate Kevin Godby here.
If you want to travel in any of the military branches, the Navy travels the most out of any of the branches. I've been to 13 different countries, all in a span of 6 months.
Aside from the VR experience, students got to learn more about the Navy's $180,000 scholarship program.
Up next, Saturday night was a big night in Hollywood as the Screen Actors Guild Awards honor some of the year's top performances. Award season in Hollywood this weekend included the Screen Actors Guild Awards last night, honoring performances on the big and small screen. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with a recap.
It's time for the Screen Actors Guild Awards, and we're here to bring you a look at the highlights and winners from this year's show.
Welcome to the 30th Annual SAG Awards.
The SAG Awards reunited actors as they honored their fellow actors.
Congratulations to all the members.
The night also brought the SAG members together following the historic Hollywood strike and featured a message from SAG-AFTRA President Fran Drescher, who said they set the trajectory for many generations to come.
I've loved working with you, playing with you.
Barbra Streisand received the Life Achievement Award, presented to her by Jennifer Aniston and Bradley Cooper.
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer picked up the title of Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture. Cillian Murphy took Male Actor in a Leading Role, and Robert Downey Jr. won for his supporting role.
Lily Gladstone.
Lily Gladstone of Killers of the Flower Moon won Female Actor in a Leading Role. Davine Joy Randolph was awarded Female Actor in a Supporting Role for The Holdovers.
Succession.
The cast of Succession landed Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Drama Series.
The Bear.
Yes, Chef, The Bear was the Comedic Series Ensemble winner, with Jeremy Allen White, the Male Actor winner, and Female Actor going to Io Adebri. Male Actor in a Drama Series went to The Last of Us star Pedro Pascal. Drama Series Female Actor went to The Crown's Elizabeth Debicki. In TV, movies, or miniseries, Stephen Yun and Ali Wong both won individual honors for Beef. A night of celebration here at the SAG Awards as award season continues and leads up to the Oscars March 10th. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of bears waking up from hibernation. From all of us here in the studio, have a great evening.